I want you to stop what you are doing for a moment and listen to the room you are in. Listen to the hum of your computer, the traffic outside, the white noise of your life. Now imagine if all of that sound suddenly stopped. Imagine if the entire world went quiet, not because there was nothing to hear, but because something so loud, so overwhelming, and so piercing had just started broadcasting that it drowned out everything else. That is what happened in the control room of the Deep Space Network 3 hours ago. The background static of the universe, the cosmic radiation left over from the Big Bang, disappeared from our monitors. It was replaced by a single, clean, terrifying tone. The observation phase is over. The silence is broken, and the object we have been calling 3IAtlas has finally told us why it is here. It isn't a visitor, it is a gardener. And the process it has initiated is being called the seeding. For months we have been debating what this object is. We argued over light curves and orbital mechanics. We fought over whether the acceleration was caused by outgassing hydrogen or an ion drive, and we treated it like a puzzle to be solved. But we were wrong. It wasn't a puzzle, it was a mirror. And now that it has turned on, it is showing us a reflection that some of us aren't ready to see. The data that is currently flooding into servers at JPL, ESA, and independent observatories is not navigational telemetry. It isn't a take me to your leader greeting. It is a biological upload. Let me take you back to the moment the shift happened. And up until yesterday, 3IAtlas was in passive mode. It was listening. It was absorbing our radio leaks, our television broadcasts, our radar pings. It was building a profile of Earth. Then at exactly 9 o'clock UTC, it switched to active mode. The transition was violent, and the signal strength jumped by 400% in a microsecond. This wasn't a polite knock on the door, it was the door being kicked in. The signal wasn't just radio waves. It was broad spectrum radio, optical X-ray, even gamma ray bursts, encoded with a rhythmic precision that nature cannot produce. The first thing the signal did was synchronize. And this is the part that scares the engineers. The pulse rate of the transmission matched the Schumann resonance of the Earth, the natural electromagnetic heartbeat of our planet. It locked onto us. It's like two tuning forks vibrating in a room. When one is strong enough, the other has no choice but to sing along. 3IAtlas tuned itself to Earth. And then it started the download. And we called the seeding because of the nature of the data packets. The first packet was expected. It was the Rosetta Stone, prime numbers, physical constants, the mass of the hydrogen atom. It was the handshake that proves intelligence. Any civilization that can build a radio can understand that packet. It says, I am here and I am real. But the second packet was where the fear set in. It was a map, but not a map of where the object came from. It was a map of where it has been. It showed the Milky Way galaxy, but overlaid on the spiral arms was a complex network of lines, a transit map. It highlighted 15 specific stars. Our sun is number 15, the last stop on the line. When we pointed our telescopes at the other 14 stars on that map, we found something that shouldn't be statistically possible. Every single one of them is a G-type star, like ours. Every single one of them has a planet in the Goldilocks zone, and every single one of them has shown signs of atmospheric anomalies in the last 1,000 years. We are not isolated. We are part of a route. We are a stop on a circuit that has been running for eons. The implication is staggering. It means that civilization isn't a random accident that happened on Earth. It means we might be a crop. And 3IAtlas is the harvester coming to check the yield. Then came the third packet. This is the one that is currently causing panic behind closed doors in Washington, Moscow, and Beijing. This packet wasn't astrophysical. It was biological. And the stream contains massive petabyte scale sequences of genetic coding. It looks like DNA, but it is too dense, too organized. It contains sequences that don't exist in our biosphere. It looks like a patch code. Think about how you update your phone. You download a file that rewrites the operating system to make it run faster, use less energy, and fix bugs. 3IAtlas is beaming down an operating system update for life itself. The sequences we have decoded so far suggest modifications to the human genome, enhancements to neural density, repairs for telomeres that could stop aging optimizations for our immune systems. On the surface, this sounds like a gift. It sounds like the ultimate act of benevolence from an elder species. Here, take this knowledge, cure your diseases, expand your minds, become better. But you have to ask yourself, why? Why would a machine travel thousands of light years to upgrade a species it has never met, unless it's not a gift, unless it's a requirement? There is a concept in evolutionary biology called directed panspermia, the idea that life was intentionally seeded on planets by an advanced intelligence. If that theory is true, then we aren't just random apes who learn to build rockets. So we are a project, and projects have deadlines. Projects have performance reviews. So 3IAtlas might be the auditor. It has watched us for the last year. It has seen our wars. It has seen how we poison our oceans. It has seen that we are on the verge of destroying the laboratory. So it has made a decision. It is intervening. The seeding might be a forced evolution. The signal is so powerful that some biophysicists are theorizing it could interact with our biology on a quantum level. This is where the physical symptoms come in. The reports of headaches, the ringing in the ears, the sudden vivid dreams that people are reporting globally. This might be the physical side effect of the resonance. We are being tuned. I want you to really think about what that means. If the object is transmitting a code to fix us, it implies that it thinks we are broken. And if we are broken, what happens if the fix doesn't work? What happens to the crops that don't take the fertilizer? The timeline is accelerating, and the object is still moving inbound. It is using that strange non-gravitational propulsion to fine-tune its orbit. It is aiming for a perigee, a closest approach on March 14th. That date is blinking red on every screen at NASA. March 14th, Pi Day, another mathematical message. On that day, the object will be close enough to do more than just transmit. It'll be close enough to interact physically with our atmosphere. There are rumors, and I stress that these are currently just rumors, that the object has begun to separate, that the single solid mass we saw on radar is unlocking, that it is preparing to deploy smaller subunits, probes within the probe. If that happens, the seeding moves from a digital event to a physical one. Imagine thousands of canisters raining down into our upper atmosphere, releasing what, nanites, viral vectors carrying the DNA upgrade, or something else entirely? The governments of the world are paralyzed. How do you stop a signal that can penetrate the Earth's crust? So how do you shoot down a ghost? They are trying to jam the frequencies, but the signal is adaptive. Every time we try to block it, 3IAtlas shifts the frequency. It hops around the spectrum with an intelligence that feels almost playful. It is treating our military countermeasures like a child trying to cover the sun with their hands. It is going to deliver its message whether we want to hear it or not. But there is a deeper layer to this story, a layer that touches on the spiritual. I have spoken to people who claim they can hear the signal, not with their ears, but in their minds. They describe a feeling of sudden intense connectivity, a feeling that the barriers between people are getting thinner. If the DNA upgrade is real, and if it includes enhancing our neural architecture, are we witnessing the birth of a hive mind? Is 3IAtlas trying to unify our consciousness because our individualism is what makes us dangerous? We kill each other because we see each other as separate, and we hoard resources because we fear scarcity for ourselves. But if we were connected, if we could feel what others feel, war would become impossible. Cruelty would become self-harm. Maybe that is the upgrade. Maybe the seeding is the end of the individual human and the beginning of the planetary human. It is a terrifying thought to lose yourself, to become part of a collective. But look at the alternative. We are standing on the edge of a nuclear cliff. We have spent 10,000 years trying to figure out how to live together without burning the house down, and we are failing. Maybe we need help. Maybe we need an intervention from the stars to save us from ourselves. However, there is a darkness here too. We have to consider the 14 other stars on the map. Why did the map show them? Was it a list of successes or a list of failures? Did those worlds accept the seeding and ascend to the stars, or are they cautionary tales? Silent graveyards orbiting lonely stars, planets that rejected the upgrade and were wiped clean to make room for the next batch. We don't know. We are the 15. We are the current iteration, and we are running out of time to decide how we feel about it. The skepticism is gone. You don't slow down by 0.003% by accident. You don't broadcast the value of pi by accident. And you certainly don't transmit a genetic blueprint for a better human by accident. The debate about if it is aliens is over. The only question left is, what do they want? I look at the sky differently now. I used to look up and feel small, insignificant. Now I look up and feel exposed. I feel like a specimen in a jar that has just noticed the eye looking through the glass. The seeding has begun. The data is raining down on us, invisible and relentless. It is in the radio waves passing through your body right now. It is in the air. And the most frightening part, it might already be working. If you felt that pressure in your head, that change in your mood, that sudden empathy for strangers, it might be the code taking root. We are changing, real-time evolution. So what do? We wait for March 14th, and we watch the sky, and we try to hold on to who we are, even as we become something else. The universe has finally called us. It has finally reached out a hand. We just have to decide if we are going to shake it or if we are going to bite it. But I suspect we won't have a choice. The signal is getting stronger every hour. The silence is gone. The noise is here. And 3IAtlas is coming to check its work. Stay awake. Stay human for as long as you can, because the harvest is coming and I don't think we get to opt out.